Have you ever had to use a dull knife? Do you know that it's actually more dangerous than taking the time and changing it out to a sharp blade? Today's beginner masterclass is on how to use a utility knife. Let's do it. Utility knives, one of the more dangerous tools you can use. Did you know that using a dull blade is more dangerous than using a sharp one? The reason for that being, a dull blade will tend to put on more resistance and deflect more. The more resistance it puts on, the harder you have to push. So that when it inevitably deflects out of the material you're working on, it will go with a lot higher force off the side, straight forward, and if you're doing it wrong, towards yourself. If you use a sharp blade, you do not have to push as hard. You do not have to fight it. Your wrist is able to just gently contour the knife to whichever direction you want it to go. When trying to cut a piece of cardboard, using a dull knife does not seem like too bad of a deal. It still cuts, it still makes it through, and it still does its job. What I'm gonna show you today, how to use this thing. First of all, never use a dull blade. I'm not saying change your blade out every hour. If you're doing drywall, you're gonna need to because you go through them quickly. But the only thing that matters is always have a sharp blade. Now you can tell the difference between this. This is a dull blade. It is very dirty. You can see it's all marred up, and I can see that the edge of the blade is actually breaking away and chipping off a little bit and bending. When you're using a bad blade, as I said before, it's gonna have a higher tendency to deflect and damage your material. When working with cardboard, it's not too big of a deal because it's not high value. And you can pretty much just force it. But you don't want to have to brute force it every time. These blades come cheap. They're very, very cheap. What is better is to use a sharp blade. We put a sharp blade in, you make sure that it's a sharp blade when you go to use it, and then all you have to do is just gently guide the knife straight through the material that you're working on. Very little resistance. It basically cuts for itself. You don't need to fight it, you don't need to force it, and it leaves a high quality cut every single time. Now, that's how to make sure that the blade is ready to be used. Now let's make sure that you're ready to use the blade. First rule of using a knife is never cut towards yourself, because if you cut towards yourself, there is not much in the way. You may think you're safe. If that blade happens to pop out and slip, whether it be down or whether it be up, I have seen people stab themselves straight in the stomach with the entire blade, because if you're cutting towards yourself, that can happen. Never cut towards yourself. It is better to cut away from yourself or to set it on a table and cut with it, always away from your body. If you have to be cutting in your direction, you put the thing down, you stand off to the side, and you pull across from your body. Never towards yourself. You pull across like this. So we would go like this, you do your cut, complete your cut, and you never once were in danger of it coming towards you. Never cut towards body parts, never cut towards your torso, and never cut towards anyone else. If you are holding a part like this, do not cut this way thinking you're cutting away from yourself so you're safe. Do not hold it like this and think you're gonna be safe. You will cut through your finger and you will cut your thumb off. Always cut away from any body parts. And when you're done with a blade, almost every blade case comes with this. The bottom is to put out new blades, so we can get a new blade out of there. And the top is to dispose of your old blades. So you put the old blade in the top, and all your old blades are stored. Because you do not want to leave blades, though they're dull, they're still sharp enough to hurt you. So if you leave those lying around, you throw them into a garbage bag that you can cut through it and fall out. If you throw them on the floor, obviously that's a hazard. If they're just laying in your scrap bin, you go to put something in your scrap bin, you can cut yourself. So if it comes with this, this is the safest way to dispose of them. So to recap, always use a sharp blade. It is the best way to ensure that you have full control of the knife is by using a sharp blade. Always dispose of your dull blades in the case that typically comes with them. And never, please, like genuinely, please never cut toward yourself, because that is super dangerous. That is super hazardous. Do not cut towards yourself, even if it's just for a quick cut or you think you can do it. Please cut away from yourself and away from anybody else, and that makes sure everybody stays safe on the work site. All right, that was the beginner's masterclass on how to use utility knives. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope it helped a whole lot. Have a great day.